If you're anything like me, you know it's frustrating creating or even accessing 3D models. Well, you could spend hours and hours and hours learning a program like Blender and perfecting the art of creating your own 3D models. But why do that when we are in 2025 and we can just make AI do it all for us? So basically, I stumbled across a website where we can generate 3D models that we can import into Unreal Engine or Blender or anything just using a text prompt. Or we could use an image and use an image prompt. So with that said, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, and it is really, really cool. Yes, lads, welcome back to another video. In this one today, I'm going to be showing you how you can create your own static meshes using AI. So if you just go to Google and we search for Meshy, just like this, we can go to this Meshy.ai website and we can convert some text to a 3D model, just like this. And if we just have a look through, you can imagine how long something like this would take to make in Blender. Now, I actually do make stuff in Blender quite frequently, and I can tell you that to make something like this, it is pretty hard. But we can do this with just one text prompt. So, for example, let's search for, in fact, I'm going to use this skull here, right? And what we can do, we can actually see what they've put in. We can see the seed, texture seed, and we can see that the actual prompt that they've put in. So here it is: hyper realistic marble, shiny, cracked, and anatomically correct human skull, only made of marble. Just like this, and this is so cool. It also has the faces, the triangles, and the vertices here, and we can actually switch the preview mode to these different ones here. So there's the basic, or the base. Here is completely solid, and what one was this? This is the transition, so it switches between the original and the base. Now, you'll be familiar with these if you've used Blender before, but let's actually go and show you how valuable this website is. So let me just X out of here, and we're going to go and create our own prompt. So for example, let's see what it will do if I do text to 3D, and it's going to cost 10 credits or whatever. And we can actually go into here, and it gives us a little hint of what we should actually do. So let's just type in a Glock pistol with a shiny gold finish, realistic, like that. And then we can choose the models here. I believe this one should cost less credits, but it doesn't in this one. There's the T-pose, the model. So it says here, Meshy 5 preview, our latest model producing sharp corners, rich geometry details, and clean, relightable textures. The preview version is more likely to give out broken results at times. So obviously, if you want to test this, you can test it, but I would stick to using the Meshy 4. But for this one, let's actually just test this one. And we have our licensing here. So I believe you can actually pay a little bit more to get your own models licensed, so they are actually yours, but you'll have to read through that yourself. And the symmetry is good for something like, for example, a spherical shape or something that is the exact same on both sides. Right, let's click generate and let's see what this does. So we get creating a task completed successfully, and it's asking us what we do. I'm a game designer, apparently. Definitely not. We'll do this, do this, and I don't know, Google. Right, sweet. Here we can obviously pay for extra if you really do like this website. Okay, so this is post edit. I just went and signed up for the affiliate program over at Meshy. I thought I might as well if I'm making a video on it. So you can actually use the code KarltyDEV if you want to get like so much off this if you like it. Or you can go sign up for yourself, make some money, and go share it to your friends. I just thought I'd add that in there. I'm not being weird or anything. And as you can see, it's already done 46%, and we're getting some previews here already. Okay, so if we just click on the model once, it'll give us these previews, and as you can see, they look pretty good. But I think we might need to do some symmetry on this. Let's have a look. Let me see if I can actually make it more symmetrical. And generate. Let's just generate it again. So I don't think this is going to work, to be honest. I did make it symmetrical, but as you can see, it's like molding in between. It's not exactly what we want, so we'll just turn that off. Right. Anyway, let's actually look at what we can do with this model. So we can actually choose, let's say, the bottom left, bottom right. We're going to go bottom right, this one here. And then what we can do, we can change the targeted poly count like this, and it tells you exactly what it does here. We can choose the actual poly count, like a maximum amount of numbers, but you do need pro for this. And the topology, obviously we want triangles. And generate texture, yes. So let's do this, confirm. So this should generate us the textures for this 3D model. And here we go. So it has actually created our shiny gold Glock pistol. It looks a little bit run down, but it actually looks really, really, really cool. Wow. You can see the detail, and that is just from one simple prompt. What you can actually do is take this prompt here, and I'm going to go into ChatGPT. So I'm just going to remove this tab, and give me a moment. Let me just close this. Right, here we go. There we go. Now, here is the prompt I'm using for Meshy.ai to a Glock pistol. And then we'll do this, and we'll paste in our prompt and say improve on the prompt and make it as realistic as possible, like that. And let's see what it does. So improve prompt, ultra realistic Glock with reflective polished gold finish, finely detailed textures, engraved slide markings, realistic proportions, tactical grip with a rubberized texture, and a metallic sheen with subtle wear. Accurate magazine and trigger details set against a Neural Studio lighting background for maximum realism. So this could probably be a little bit more bit more simplistic, so obviously we're not going to do the background bit, but let's just actually try this. So where do we go? This one. Let's go to workspace, 3D, and how do we navigate this? Oh, here. Let's paste in our new prompt. There we go. And we're going to remove the background bit because we actually, we don't need the background. And we're going to click generate. And I think this is good to go. Creating task. Right, okay, so it has generated a new a few new meshes, and as you can see, this is definitely going to be some trial and error, but I think this top right one might be a little bit better than what we had before, but we're going to stick with this gold one. Right, okay, so we have our model, it's textured, we have a little bit of a silver thing here which looks pretty cool, and it looks quite realistic. Now if you wanted to, you could use this as a template in Blender. So if we click download, and we're going to download in a FBX. So we could either use this in Blender, or we could use this in Unreal Engine, which I'm going to show you right now. So here we have our Glock pistol, and if I go to Blender, I will show you how we can import this and use this as like a template. This is something that I like to do to get the basic shape of things. Right, so I'm going to show you how we can actually use this pistol. So let's go into Blender, delete the default cube, and then we're going to import our Glock that we just converted to a GIB file. So just drag all these in there, like that. Import, like that. And then we have our Glock. Then we're just going to go File. Wait, actually, let's delete the camera and the light. And export as FBX. Let's try that. Glock. And we're going to go to desktop. Export FBX. And then we're going to go to desktop with all my stuff on it. Glock FBX. Let's see if this works. Apply to all, yes. Right, there we go. Now we have our Glock. We can just drag this in, and it'll come in a little bit weird, like that. Now, as you can see, it looks a little bit weird. I think that's just the texture being strange. So let's just delete this material, and we're going to go ahead and create our own one. So let's go to, I'm going to right click material, underscore gold, like that. Then we're going to press 3 on our keyboard, left click, hook that into there, like that. Double click, go to yellow, yellowy orange, like this, like that. Metallic 1, roughness 0. Oh wait, actually I need to close this. Roughness will be 0, like that, and that'll give us a shiny material. And then we can dock this here, go here, drag this onto the mesh. And now we have this really nice Glock. So let's actually go and add this to our character. So in our third person, blueprints, BP third person character, we can go and add a static mesh. So static mesh, just like this, call it Glock. I'm going to drag it onto the mesh like that. The reason we do that is because we can click this parent socket on the right, go to hand grip R, like that. And it is now attached to hand grip R, whatever we put in there. And I'll show you what hand grip R is now. So just double click the skeleton and we go hand grip R, and it'll be this exact point here, like that. If you don't have one, you can just right click hand and add a socket. This will do basically the exact same thing. In fact, you know what, we'll use that just in case you haven't got one. So I've just added a new socket. I'm going to copy this name, go over to the Glock again here, paste in that name, and hand our socket is where it will be attached. Now, as you can see, it's like over here. We don't want it over there, we want it to be zeroed out. So 0, 0, like that. And we can move the socket down just like this. If we just go like this, and let's just move it down a bit and in a bit like that. Okay, sweet. Now, we actually need the static mesh. So on the Glock, we can go here and search for Glock, like that. And it is huge. So let's just change it in, where do we want to change it? We want to change it in the skeleton, I do believe. So I'll go to the skeleton, and on the socket, which will be hand R socket, we can right click, add a preview mesh like this, and it's going to be the Glock. And as you can see, it's huge. So let's just zero all this out. Oh wait, no, keep that. And then we're going to do relative scale 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and see how that looks. And as you can see, it is now fitting into the hand. We're just going to move the actual socket. So with this selected here, hand R socket, we're going to move it down and move it like that. Not going to mess about too much with this, but can just do that. And then there we go. That will now be attached to the character, and if we click save, as you can see, the character is now holding our weapon. Sweet. So on the Glock here, we actually want to change the material to gold, or whatever material you want, and now we are holding a golden Glock pistol. Sweet. Now, if we go into the level, when we spawn in, we have our golden Glock in our hands, and we can run around, and it is attached, just like this. Looks pretty cool. And we can still go over, and we can go press F again, like that. and like that. And now we are looking pretty cool. And this was all just from one simple, very, very, very simple prompt like this. And for example, we could actually go and change the texture here. We can actually add a texture import. If you wanted to do an image, we can actually do image. We can actually go to image to 3D where you can submit your own image. So let's just have a clock like this and like that. Let's take this. Let's just see how this works. Oops. Snipping tool like that. I'm going to highlight this one. Glock. Then we can actually go into here, search for our Glock that we just made, and generate. Let's see what that does. So this here has made some more Glocks, and I actually have to say that this one looks pretty good. So we might actually, I mean, we're not going to do it in this video, but that's basically how you would do it with that. And it doesn't have to be a weapon, it can be anything. You can also remesh it right here. And we can also change the texture, we can stylize it if you wanted to. And we can also animate it. This is obviously for characters or for weapons, like we could actually move the slider back and forward. Right, okay, so that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Check out the links in the description, Patreon, Discord, whatever you're into, and I will catch you later. Peace.